I was going to speak to the issue that Mr. Van de Kamp raised, and the echoes of it were raised by others, which is what happens under the existing bilaterals. If there's a hard Brexit, if on day one there's no agreement, to what extent do these bilaterals, after they're dusted off from the 1940s and 50s and 60s, what level of service do they provide? There are two major limitations. One is that they were written in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. A lot of them specify specifically what carriers can serve the markets. So a number of airlines that are before you here may not have been around during that period. So you're certainly going to see fewer choice for consumers. Second, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, there were far fewer flights, far fewer frequencies between those two countries. So it'd be much more restrictive on that front. But third, and this is really the important part for us on the American side, the joint ventures that we have, that airlines have with KLM, with Lufthansa, with British Air, which would be relevant on that one, but it would be that they end. The legal foundation assumes that there is an open skies agreement, meaning I arrived here in Brussels through Frankfurt on Lufthansa. I flew to, well, let me back up. If you fly through Heathrow and then connect on a European carrier, that is a venture between the U.S. carrier and the European carrier. It is one that they have antitrust immunity. They're able to coordinate on scheduling so that they are convenient to passengers. Your bags go seamlessly when they're transferred at Heathrow. When I mentioned that 50% of Heathrow traffic is going on to the EU27, it's because of those joint ventures, at least from the U.S. perspective. So that ends on day one. The question was raised on what would the impact be on small and regional, on small and mid-sized airports. Again, from the U.S. perspective, there is not a lot of direct service from United States cities to small and mid-sized airports. It's a hub and spoke system, and what we do is we generally get traffic to Heathrow, then they move with another carrier through a joint venture, and that carrier brings the American tourist, American businessman to a small and mid-sized community. So we think it would have a huge impact on small and mid-sized communities, at least from an American perspective, because it makes it that much harder on day one to bring those people in.